Retro Kevo back again. I wasn't sure if I'd get another video in before Christmas, but I was watching Raz at his Retro's channel, and gullpayne had put out there his top 5 Capcom games, and I was watching Raz's and I thought, yeah, I've got to do this. And 2 great channels, by the way, gullpayne and Raz's Retro. I'll put the links below. But yeah, here they are. They're my 5 top Capcom games. As I said, you know, it's pretty old school. I've gone back in the day, being quite long in the tooth. You can check them out yourself. Now, spoiler alert, there is no Street Fighter 2 in there. Blasphemous, I know, but I am just very bad at fighting games. I obviously respect Street Fighter 2 for the great game it is. You know, I love watching other people play it, but I'm just not any good at fighting games, really. So that's the only reason it's not in there. So let's crack on. I'll see you at the end. Here's my top 5 Capcom games. So I said I was going pretty old school with at least a few of the games, and so we have 1942. This game was out in 1984. I would have been about 14, 15 years old, and I think I first saw this game at the fairground. Now, those who are old enough to remember, the fairgrounds used to come along, and as well as rides, they'd set up a little arcade. They'd put some boards down on the floor, and they'd put sometimes up to about 20 arcade machines in there, and I'm pretty certain that's where I first saw this game. And hard as nails, 1942, but a lovely vertical shooter, cracking music. You know what the music was like in those sort of 8-bit type style. Really, really lovely. But this was a top game, and it was one of the first games that introduced the old power-up system to me. You know, if you shot down the right planes or enough of the planes, you'd get a power up which increase your firepower, which obviously made it easier to progress further. So yeah, 1942, tough but great game from Capcom. So now Commando. Oh, I really love this game. Now this one was released in 1985, so I would have been a little bit older. But I really love the old one-man army shoot 'em up games, Rambo, those sort of games, Who Dares Wins. Really terrific, and the music to this game was very good. But you know, the maestro Rob Hubbard did a fantastic version of the music for this game on the Commodore 64. But yeah, I used to pump money into Commando. You know, those days, I've said it before, about the mid-80s, you had all the sort of one-man army films, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, and oh yeah, I would really pump my money into this. I was playing this today and I thought, yeah, I could play this again for hours. It's like top game. Pretty tough I'd say, but yeah, Commando had to be up there. Another classic game from Capcom, and I might even go and play it again this evening. Great stuff. So onto one of the toughest games ever made. When people do their YouTube lists of the hardest games ever, Ghosts and Goblins often comes out very near the top, if not at the top. Even though it's that hard, there was just something about this game. I remember playing it. It came out again in 1985, so I would have been 15, 16 years old again. But this game, you'd only last about a minute or something for your 10 or 20 pence. But, you know, it made me come back for more. Now, for me, I think it was obviously had great graphics for the time, but it was the sound effects and the music for me. They were exceptional. And as I say, I play it now, I don't get much further than what you're seeing here in this footage, but kept coming back for more. Now that always is the sign of a great game, obviously. If you keep coming back to play, even if you don't get very far, then the people have done something right. Top game from Capcom. Right, we crack on, and now onto Mega Man 2. Now, I have a Spare Hombres to thank for this. Spare Hombres is a great retro gaming YouTuber. He's also a top player who gets some great scores. I'll put his link below, but I put out a video some months ago asking for some recommendations on the Nintendo. Now, Nintendo completely passed me by back in the day, but I thought, no, I'm going to try and get into it. So I picked myself up a Nintendo Switch. I put the video out, and Spare Hombres, among others, recommended Mega Man games, in particular this one, Mega Man 2, and my goodness am I happy that they introduced this game to me. It's absolutely brilliant. I fell in love with it pretty quickly. Very tough game, but so playable, so clever. The levels are really interesting, and oh, I love playing this game. Top stuff on Mega Man 2. Well, it had to be. Anyone who's watched my videos before, they know I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, and all I can say is hats off and thanks to those people at Capcom, because in 1996, when the first one came out on the PS1, my gaming life was changed forever. I used to stay up late playing this game. Now this version is my favourite game of all time, the remaster of the first one, which was released on the GameCube and the PS3. I can't remember if it was released on any others, but I used to play this one on the PS3, and what a game. Resident Evil, nearly all the games in the series. I'm currently playing Resident Evil 6 because it's one of the ones I haven't finished. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Resident Evil 6 so far. It's a little bit too much action based for me, but you know what? Capcom have given me so many hours fun through the Resident Evil series. As I say, all I can do is thank them. Now, I wanted to put some PS1 footage as well, but silly sod me, I dropped my PS1 Slim last week from about 6 inches off the floor, and it's blimmin' not loading games now, so I'm going to have to buy a new laser and fit that. But yes, Capcom, Resident Evil, brilliant. Right, there you go. Pretty obvious with a t-shirt, etc., that there was going to be Resident Evil in there. But yeah, that's my top 5 Capcom games. You know, if you've got a YouTube retro gaming channel, I'd love to see yours. It's a really interesting one to do. But anyway, until the next time, like and subscribe if you like the channel, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, Resident Evil was always going to be in there. You could probably tell from the t-shirt at the start. But yeah, Capcom, they made some fantastic games. You know, and if you're a fan of Capcom, you got a YouTube channel, you know, go for it. Put your top 5. Fuck's sake.